Alwa's Legacy, first released June of 2020, available on Nintendo Switch, PC, and PlayStation platforms, retailing for $17.99. Alwa's Legacy is a metroidvania, and a sequel to the game, Alwa's Awakening. Where the first game went for a faux 8-bit style, this game tries for a 16-bit style, though is far more liberal in the interpretation of that. Story-wise, this is a direct sequel. You play as Zoe, who, having finished the first game, is now attempting to go home. But instead, she finds herself going on a second adventure that has certain similarities to the first. However, this story does stand alone. You need absolutely no knowledge of the first game to enjoy this game. You will explore a fairly large world, finding yourself overcoming several dungeons and the bosses therein. You have a staff to hit things with, and you will have 3 abilities, which are all returning from the first game. You can summon a green block to jump on and push around. You can summon a bubble that you can jump on, and after it gains a certain amount of height, bursts. And lastly, you can throw some lightning. This time around, each of these abilities has 4 upgrades, which are purchased with orbs that are hidden around the map. Upgrades must be done in a linear fashion, and each ability will gain both utility and offensive capability as you upgrade them. In addition to that, you will gain a number of spells you can cast throughout the game. You get them very slowly as you progress, and they mostly serve as utility for getting places, protecting you from spikes, or allowing you to jump through a wall, or slow down time, all of which will be needed at specific points, and to find the various collectibles that are all over the map. And collectibles are actually the biggest problem in this game, as the map does not mark where most of them are at, even if you turn on the feature to show items on the map. That will only show you story items, not the collectibles. So every time you find yourself with a new ability, you're gonna backtrack through the map to see how many more of the collectibles you can get. And they are so numerous, you will not remember where all of them are, as you need to collect orbs to upgrade your 3 abilities. You need to collect rose petals to upgrade your health. You need to collect green droplets so you can upgrade save points to be fast travel points. Though admittedly, you don't need every single save point to be a fast travel point. You can be strategic with those, realistically. The items that are actually marked on the map are either for story progression, or sometimes for quests the various NPCs will give you. And some of these quests are actually necessary to progress, and others are just fun bonuses. But you won't really know which is which till after you do the quest. And it's frustrating to know that virtually everyone has something for you to do, but not all of the things to do are of equal importance. It's also somewhat annoying that some of the requests you'll get very early on can't actually be completed till fairly late in the game. Like when you're requested to remove all the monsters from the Great Library. This is a request you get shortly after your first dungeon. It is not possible to fulfill this request until you're ready to go to the last dungeon. So if you're inclined to do requests as soon as you get them, you're going to be in for a lot of frustration. But where the game actually really shines is in the dungeons and boss fights. Every dungeon has a gimmick to it, and you can't actually do the gimmick of the dungeon when you first enter. Rather, you're going to need to get your way around a dungeon till you find something in particular that allows you to interact with the gimmick of the dungeon, at which point you suddenly find yourself with much more freedom in said dungeon. And it is actually quite rewarding when you finally find that thing you need to make the dungeon make sense. And like in most Legend of Zelda games, whatever you found in that dungeon will probably be key to fighting the boss of the dungeon. Though, depending what skills you chose to level up with your orbs, some bosses are going to be much easier than others. So is Alwa's Legacy worth your time and money? Well, it's $18 and lasts about 10 hours or so. It has a charming world, very well done dungeons and bosses, And if you are a completionist, you can add several more hours, as collectibles are not marked on the map and will require much backtracking. Even if it didn't tell you which kind of collectible was on the screen, it'd be nice if it were indicated in some way. Like the dot on the map in Super Metroid. You wouldn't know exactly what was there, but you'd know something was there. But honestly, $18 for a 10-hour experience is pretty good in this day and age, as $60 and $70 games often only have 10 hours of play in them. And this is a fairly decent Metroidvania, maybe not reaching the heights of some of the true greats in the genre, but still managing to have a charm all its own. Please do subscribe, comment, like, and tell your friends.